Coming up on today's show, we have the latest on Geno Smith. Hear what is going on with the Seahawks QB1 out of minicamp coming up in just a bit. Also, Devon Witherspoon continues to take the world by storm as he shined at minicamp. We got some insights on him that we'll get to coming up in just a bit. Also, we're going to let you hear directly from Jarran Reed, the Seahawks defensive lineman, what he had to say about the changes going on with the defensive line. We know that the Seahawks are doing some things differently schematically when it comes to this group. We'll break down what he had to say, react to it in just a matter of moments. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for spending your Friday with us. I want you to speak your mind here on Seahawks Today. If you believe in Mike Macdonald and the Seattle Seahawks, which I do, then go ahead and like today's video. If not, comment and tell me why you're not buying into Mike Macdonald. Let us know, and we'll get started with today's show. According to reports out of Seahawks Mandatory Minicamp, Seahawks quarterback Geno Smith has cemented himself as the top QB, that there is no quarterback competition. This is Geno Smith's team entering 2024 as he impressed in the two practices that occurred this week. Seattle Sports reporting the following. During OTAs and minicamp, it was clear that Smith remains the undisputed number one quarterback. Smith took all the first-team reps and sessions open to the media and was consistently the more polished passer of the two. Howell was not sharp at Wednesday's minicamp practice, throwing 3 interceptions during 11-on-11 drills, including back-to-back picks at one point. Now, for me, this is no surprise. This is Geno Smith's team, and there's no reason why he shouldn't be the guy heading into 2024. Coming off 2 straight Pro Bowl appearances, we've seen him play very well. He's come through in some big moments for this team. And until he struggles or has an injury and Sam Howell steps up and plays at a high level that's greater than what we've seen from Geno Smith, then he's the guy till said otherwise. And that wasn't going to change this offseason just by bringing in Sam Howell. And in fact, he's impressed this new coaching staff with his new system coming into place. We've talked about it previously, how Geno is a natural fit with this system being similar to what he ran in college at West Virginia. Offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb had this to say on Geno Smith. I think certainly Geno, when you're out there with him, you can feel his presence. He does a really good job of that, of commanding the attention of his teammates. And I think even since our time here, I think Sam has really grown in that regard. Now, when I look ahead to 2024, Geno's job this year is to elevate this offense. If you look at the past 2 seasons, Geno didn't hold this offense back from its full potential, but he didn't necessarily take this team up another level, right? What needs to happen now for Geno Smith is he needs to be the reason why they win games, not in spite of his performance there. Geno Smith entering his 3rd year as the full-time starter in Seattle, a career 17-15 record as the Seahawks starting QB, led the team to the postseason in 2022, which was the better of his 2 seasons as the full-time starter for the Seahawks, as he set 4 single-season franchise records back in 2022. But 2023 was a bit of a step back for Geno Smith. When you compare numbers statistically, 2022 to 2023, he was down in completion percentage, down in yards, down in touchdowns. His interceptions was better, but did play in 2 less games due to injury. And QBR was also down 62.8 to 59.5. I don't want to just see the Geno Smith we saw in 2022. I want to see even a better version of that. I think he's capable of it. What do you guys think? Are you all in? Are you buying into Geno Smith this season? Don't hold back. Let us know in our pinned comment today, yes or no, if you buy into Geno Smith or not heading into this season. Seahawks Today is your one-stop shop for all things Seattle Seahawks, as we're bringing you daily news and rumors, live shows not just once but twice a week. We have Madden Sims for every single Seahawks game of the 2024 campaign, and we're bringing you breaking news, mailbags, all of that and more. If you're a real member of the 12s, you got to subscribe to Seahawks Today, youtube.com/Seahawks TV to subscribe for free. Join the family now. You'll be glad you did. Shifting gears over to the defense now. Devon Witherspoon just lit it up this past week at minicamp and really just picking up right from where he left off at OTAs, where he was fantastic there as well. And it's been catching the attention of his teammates. We've talked about several players that have mentioned Devon Witherspoon, and Mike Macdonald and AD and this coaching staff have heaped high praise about Witherspoon. We'll now add defensive lineman Leonard Williams to the list of nice things that have been said about Devon Witherspoon. Listen to this. I think Spoon is a great player. When I got traded here in the middle of the season last year, I was like, dang, who is this guy? He does have just a very outrageous energy and in a great way. And also for a small guy, he plays very physical and rowdy. Look, this is Devon Witherspoon's world, and we're all just living in it, folks. I've never seen this much hype within the building about one player, especially on defense. With all the things that have been said about Devon Witherspoon, he had an impressive rookie campaign last year, went to a Pro Bowl, and now it's building upon that here heading into this season. And I think that there's no reason to believe why Devon Witherspoon can't be the best player on this Seahawks defense, and I think he's going to show up and show out. Mike Macdonald, you may recall earlier in the week he had this to say about Devon Witherspoon. I told him today I couldn't believe he was the smartest football player of all time. And it's only his second year in the NFL. He's got an answer for everything. No, hey, be yourself. That's who he is. We love him. He's a great player already in this league. We're really excited about him again. All those guys are great, man. Energy is right where we want it. Now, I mentioned that I believe that Devon Witherspoon will be the best player on this Seahawks defense this year. But taking it a step further, I would argue heading into 2024, there isn't a more important player for the Seahawks' success on the defensive side of the ball than Devon Witherspoon. This defense is going to go as far as Devon Witherspoon takes them. You look at Witherspoon last year, leading the Seahawks in passes defended as a rookie with 16. But the thing for me, think about this, right? We have seen with the Seattle Seahawks where this defense has been sporadic, been chaotic at times, right? And with what we're looking at, with what Mike Macdonald wants to do with this defense, I look at a guy like Devon Witherspoon as not only being the heartbeat on and off the field, right? But if he plays well, he's going to make others around him better in that nickelback floater position. That's going to open up things for other guys. And you look at the coverage stats. If there was one thing to work on, if you will, when it comes to Devon Witherspoon, I would say think about this, all right, for a comparison. I think of him kind of similar to what we saw with Kyle Hamilton with the Baltimore Ravens the last couple of seasons, who was coached by Mike Macdonald. Kyle Hamilton played that nickelback role for the last couple of years. He's moving to the full-time safety spot now. But what Kyle Hamilton did as that floater, if you will, Kyle Hamilton really maximized and opened up doors for other guys. Geno Stone, his teammate, had 6 interceptions, which was second in the NFL. I think a lot of it had to do with the distraction that Kyle Hamilton was able to do with that defense. Devon Witherspoon, you look at the coverage stats here, and the pass breakups were great. Had an interception last year. Completion percentage allowed was about 57.4%. Gave up about 396 yards. I'd like to see that number come down a little bit. But honestly, I think he is well on his way. His game is getting more and more polished all the time. I'm excited to see what he does this season. Let's ask you. I said it earlier. I'll say it again. Devon Witherspoon is the best player on Seattle's defense. Do you agree with that or do you disagree? Type fact for fact. Type fiction for fiction. Let us know in the comments section how you feel one way or the other. Is Devon Witherspoon the best player on this defense? Let me know. The most improved group for the Seattle Seahawks heading into 2024 on paper is the defensive line, with the addition of Byron Murphy, also Jonathan Hankins coming in, and also just bringing back guys like Leonard Williams and company here. There's reason to be optimistic about this group, going from a weakness to begin 2023 to a strength to start 2024. And Jarran Reed is going to play a crucial role in the success of this defensive line. He had this to say this week as far as the D-line goes. We've got a lot of guys that can play a lot of different positions. I'm excited to see where we can go with this. I think we will it will benefit us a lot. Guys won't know where we're going to be as much, so we can create some confusion along the offensive line. Here is an example I would point to, something to think about when it comes to this defensive line, all right? NBA Finals going on right now, right? And the way the NBA's changed is so much positionless basketball, right? You can throw 4 guards on the floor and make it work. We've seen that be successful, right? Think about this. With this defensive line, you got a number of guys that can play defensive end, that can play defensive tackle, that can mix and match and move around. And with what Mike Macdonald wants to do with running 3-4 and 4-3 schemes and trying to confuse offenses here, I think you got to be able to move around and be flexible. That's what Mike Macdonald's looking for, and he's got guys that are capable of doing that. Here's what you need to know. 4 things as far as some individuals on this defensive line goes. Let's start with Leonard Williams. He said this past week at minicamp, in 2 practices, he played a total of 6 different positions at minicamp, folks. I'll take that, but it doesn't stop there. Draymond Jones played defensive end last year. We've been told that he could be playing some outside linebacker this year. Well, at minicamp, he did a little bit of both. He played inside and outside. How about Jarran Reed, who has started games in the National Football League at both defensive tackle and at defensive end? He's been moving more outside in this new scheme. And then Byron Murphy, the Seahawks first-round pick out of Texas. We know he's already got the flexibility to mix and match. So there's a lot of opportunities for this Seahawks defense to get creative here. And you look at this Seahawks defensive line here, I mean, they got some dudes, right? Leonard Williams was fantastic. I think that certainly has paid off. Jarran Reed coming back off a 7-sack season last year. He's got to get better when it comes to run defense. We know about Byron Murphy. Jonathan Hankins, I think, is going to be a nice piece coming off the bench. We'll see what happens with Mike Morris and Cameron Young. That remains to be seen. But then you even take it a step further. Look at the outside linebackers and the edge rushers that will be playing with these guys as well. You get Uchenna Nwosu back from injury. Boye Mafe coming off a season where he led the Seahawks in sacks with 9 last year. We mentioned Draymond Jones. He'll play both sides, defensive end, and he'll play some outside linebacker. Darrell Taylor, we know, is a good pass rusher. And Derek Hall coming into his second year. We're expecting improvement from him. For everybody involved here, no one is dismissed from this, whether you're on the defensive line or you're an edge rusher, whatever it may be. The numero uno, number 1 assignment for this defense is to fix the run defense because it was abysmal. It was a joke what we saw from this run defense last year and the years prior to that. You look at the rankings, folks. I mean, this is just a disgusting act that you're seeing on your screen here. 26th in opponents' rush plays. For context, that means that teams realize, oh, yeah, we can run the ball in the Seahawks. Opponents' rush yards, 27th. Opponents' rush yards per game, 29th. Opponents' rushing yards per game, 31st. Opponents' rushing touchdowns, 30th. It was bad. That's got to improve, and I think it will. Now let's ask you, how would you grade the Seahawks defensive line? With these changes, with the investments they've made, what do you think about this group? I'm feeling pretty good, to be honest. I'm going to go with about a B+ personally. I think that's a fair grade. Give me your grade in the comments section and let us know. If you enjoyed today's show, you know what to do. Like the video. We'd certainly appreciate it. Show some love for Mike Macdonald. I'm Tyler Jones. We'll see you next time right here on Seahawks Today.